Hello guys, so this afternoon I'm going to discuss to you or to demonstrate to you how to accomplish your first PKA activity. So the Packet Tracer creating a cyber world. So in order to do that, you need first to download the PKA file which can be found under the chapter 1, Cybersecurity, a World of Experts and Criminals. So all you need to do is to click this Packet Tracer creating a cyber world link. Then you will be redirected to the page where you can download the PDF file, which contains the instructions, and you can also download the PKA packet tracer activity file. So you do not actually need to download the PDF file because the PKA file already contains the instruction. So for now, I'm just going to download the PKA file. So I will click it here. Then just wait for a moment while the file is still downloading. After the file was successfully downloaded, so all you need to do is to open the file. So click it here. Then it will open the uh, PKA activity in Packet Tracer. So one of the requirements is you should have a Packet Tracer installed in your computer. So I have already discussed to you or explained to you where to download the Packet Tracer installer. So you must download it first and install. Then it will open the NetAcad login page. So in order for you to fully utilize the functions and features of Packet Tracer, you must log in uh, using your NetAcad credentials. So using your email and password. Okay, so I'm going to log in first. User login. So once you are logged in, so you will be uh, automatically redirected to the packet tracer file, so packet tracer activity. So for us to accomplish this activity, so you need first to actually follow the instructions. So you can see here the different instruction sets or the instruction set that you need to follow in order for you to accomplish this activity. Okay, so let me just rearrange first my screen so that I can be able to demonstrate to you the activity properly. So, okay. So I'll just put it side by side so that you can be able to follow correctly. So this is the instruction and this is the PKA file. Okay. So objectives is first is to configure the FTP server. Then next is configure the web server, configure email server, DNS server, NTP, and AAA server. So these are the steps. Okay. So in this activity, you will configure the basic server components. The IP addressing configuration is already complete, so you do not need to configure that one. You will use the services tab on multiple servers to deploy the FTP, web, email, DNS, NTP, and EEA services. Okay. So part one is you're going to configure the FTP server or the file transfer protocol server. So here in the step one, it says activate the FTP service. So you need to click the Metropolis Bank HQ and then click the FTP web server. So if you notice, we have here three different branches. So it says Metropolis Bank HQ. So here, this one. This is the Metropolis Bank HQ. So you need to click this one. Then it will zoom in to uh, the inside of the Metropolis Bank HQ, on which it has different uh, type of ICT resources. We have computers, we have DSL modem, routers, and as well as the servers. So our task is to configure these servers. Okay. So click the FTP web server. So here, this one. We're going to click the FTP web server. This one. Then click the services tab. Then click FTP. So where is the services tab? Here, this one. Click the services tab. Then click the FTP. This one. This is FTP. Then turn on the FTP service using the radial button at the top. So this one. Turn on this one. Then step number 2, you are going to create user access or user accounts of the FTP server. So create a user account of Bobby, Mary, and Mike with the password of Cisco123. So first, let's create Bob. Password is Cisco123. The permission is read, write, delete, rename, and list. So just check this one. Okay, then add. Next is Mary. So Mary, same password, Cisco 123, rewrite, read, delete, rename, list. Then last one is Mike. So Cisco 123, then list, and add. So we're done with the part 1. Okay. The next is part 2. Configure the web server. So we're going to configure the web server. So let's go back to the, so actually you can close this one X. Then go back to the to the topology or the network diagram that we have. Then uh, within the Metropolis Bank HQ, so we are still at the Metropolis Bank HQ. How to know that? Because of this one. So we are currently at the Metropolis Bank HQ. So if you want to go back, just click this arrow button back, and you'll go back to the 3 branches. And then if you want to go back to Metropolis Bank HQ, just click this one again. Okay, that is how to navigate between these branches. Just showing you how to do it. Okay, so let's go back to Metropolis Bank HQ. Then click the FTP web server. So again, FTP web server. Then let's go to the services tab. Okay, here we are, services tab. Then HTTP. So turn on both HTTP and HTTPS services. So i-on na to ni siya. So you're going to on this one, HTTP and HTTPS services. Then verify the HTTP service. So let's verify if the services is already on. So click the PC named Sally. So let's go back. So balik tayo doon sa PC. So let's just close this one. Okay, so click natin si PC Sally. Then let's go to desktop. So sa desktop, we can see the different services or the applications installed in our desktop computer. So meron dyang web browser. So we're going to use web browser in order to check or to verify if working ba yung server natin. Okay, so click this one. Okay, so let's type www.cisco.corp. Okay, so it's not working. So why? It's not working? So you're going to answer that question later in your activity. Then next is instead of using the URL cisco.corp, we're gonna use the IP address. So let us see if this one works. 10.44.1.254. Okay, I go. So it works. Okay, so the question is why it works using the IP address and why it does not work using the URL. So that will be the answer or the question that you need to answer, okay, in this activity. So let's close this one. So we're done with part number 2. Next, let's go to part 3. configure the DNS server. So again, under the Metropolis Bank HQ, click the email/DNS server. Okay. Then go to Services tab. Then click DNS. So where is DNS? This one here. So DNS stands for the domain name system. So okay. So I think you have already discussed that what is DNS in your previous subjects. So you need to turn on the DNS service using the radial button. So click on. Then okay, if you notice in the previous step, uh, the Cisco.corp does not work because in simple explanation is that the domain www.cisco.corp is not associated with the IP address 10.44.1.254. So hindi siya na-associate. So all you need to do to fix that problem is we're going to associate the cisco.corp to the IP address 10.44.1.254 so that when we click or when we type cisco.corp in the address box in our web browser, automatically it will point to the server na ang IP address is ito, 10.44.1.254 para gagana yung ating www.cisco.corp. Okay, that explains uh, that that explains why hindi gumana ito cisco.corp. Okay, this is the question. So dito nga bakit hindi siya gumana, it's because the cisco.corp is not associated with the server na ito. So saan yan i-configure? So you need to configure that in the DNS server. Okay, so DNS server. So first step is to create the A record. So before we configure the cisco.corp, we configure first the email server. So create a record for email.cisco.corp. So with the IP address 10.44.1.253. So saan natin ilagay dito? So create tayo ng A record. So here, this one. So A record here. The name is email.cisco.corp. IP address is 10.44.1.253. Then add. Okay. Next is a record for cisco.corp. So www.cisco.corp. So that when we type cisco.corp, it will automatically point to the address na 10.44.1.254. Ito yung web server natin. So that when pag mag-type tayo ng cisco.corp sa URL natin sa browser, automatically pupunta siya sa web server dito that contains the web page of Cisco. Okay, let's try it later. Gagana ba siya? Then add. Where is that? Dito. Then click add to save the record. Okay. Okay, no. So I think it is already saved. Then let's verify. Verify the DNS service. So open again the PC named Sally. So i-close natin ito. Let's go back to Sally. Punta tayo sa desktop tab. Here, ito. Then click web browser. Then let's type www.cisco.corp. So dapat mag-point siya sa server na may IP address na 10.44.1.254. Go. Okay, it worked. So tama na yung configuration natin. So nag-work na si www.cisco.corp na domain. So bakit gumana siya? Why is the user able to browse? So you have to answer that one. The next, configure the email server. So how to configure the email server? So let's go back again to Metropolis Bank HQ. Then click email, DNS server. Then go to services, this one. Then click the email. So email, saan ba yung email ito? Then turn on both SMTP and POP3 service. So i-on natin itong dalawang services. So they are both email services. So then let's create email account. For example, email account. So, para kay Sally, kay Phil, kay Bob, at kay Dave. So, gagawin natin sila. Ito. So, create user account names. So, before we create the user account, una, create muna tayo ng domain name for cisco.corp. So, cisco.corp. Then, let's create set. Okay, then, create tayo ng account ni Phil, Cisco123. Then, add. Ito. So, cisco.corp pa rin. So, no need to set because na-set na natin kanina. Then, Sally. Cisco123. Add. Bob. Cisco123. Add. Dave. Cisco123. Mary. Then, last is Mike. Okay, so we are now done creating the email accounts. Next is configure user email accounts. So, paano ba i-configure ito? So, let's go back to the PC named Sally. Okay. By the way, how to verify your progress sa activity ninyo? If how many percent na yung na-accomplish nyo at ilan na bang grade ninyo. So, all you need to do is to click this one, check results. Okay, so automatically it will check the result. So, it means that this activity is incomplete. So, not yet complete. So, let's try. Pwede ka pumunta sa assessment items. So, currently you are at 30 over, currently you are at, yes, 30 over 51 items. Yung score mo is 52 over 94. So, hindi mo pa natapos lahat ng activity. So, meron pang mga mali or kulang ito. So, ganyan lang mag-check. So, malalaman mo din kung ilan yung grades mo. So, ilan yung grades mo. So, 52 pa lang. Okay, so, let's close this one. Oops, nawala yung packet tracer ko. Let me check where is my packet tracer. Oh, sorry. Oh, ito pala. Sorry. So, ito, let me rearrange first. Medyo mahirap kasi pag Mac yung gamit. Okay. So, again, to check, just click that check results. Okay. So, now let's go back to configure email clients. So, let's go back to Sally. Then, desktop, tab. Then, click email. Saan ba yung email dito? Ito. Then, configure natin yung email niya. Ito, config. Ano ba? Sorry. Sally, mali. Sally, desktop, email. Then, name is Sally. Sally at cisco.corp. Then, incoming and outgoing mail server is email.cisco.corp. Same, email.cisco.corp. Username is yung kinrate natin kanina na username, Cisco123. Then, save. So, repeat the steps. Same with Bob and others. Okay. So, next is, okay. After nyo mag-configure yung emails, you're going to configure the NTP server, NTP service, AE server, and up to the last part. Then all you need to do is to check result kung ilan na ba yung grade mo. So dapat packet tracer, you should have a grade of 94 sa packet tracer. Then sa question, may mga questions dito, answeran nyo to lahat. Itong mga question na ito. For example, itong question na ito. Why does the email service require both SMTP and POP3? So ang question is, it worth 6 points. So total of 100 points. Okay? So, paano ba answeran yung question? So, you just write the answer of your question sa Word file, then upload it together with the PKA. Itong PKA na inansweran nyo. Okay? So, maximum score sa Packet Tracer, pag check nyo ng result, 94, plus yung Word file ninyo na may answer sa mga questions, 6 points. So, all in all, that is 100 points. Okay? Then, i-submit nyo lang tong Packet Tracer na activity. Submit nyo lang doon sa LMS. Ito. Kasama na to. Ito. Okay? So, automatic. Before nyo i-close, dapat i-save nyo muna. Then, submit niyo. Okay? I will not be demonstrating to you the remaining part of the activity because para at least you do it on your own. So that, bali, yung ginawa ko lang is nag-demonstrate ako to serve as guide for you kung paano ba gawin ang Packet Tracer na activity. Okay? So I think that's all. Then you should complete the activity number 1. I think you are now already familiar with Packet Tracer. Paano ba siya mag-navigate? Paano ba? Saan ba pupunta? Ano ba ang dapat i-click? So simple lang siya actually na UI. Madali lang. So I think that's all for this demonstration. So you should complete the remaining activity. Then submit that to get the PKA, this one, the PKA file, submit this one sa LMS as a NetAcad together with a Word file. So that's all. Thank you very much.